Imagine two people starting their careers on the exact same day. They have the same degree, the same starting salary, and the same local economy. Fast forward a decade, and their financial lives look like this river, splitting in two and flowing toward opposite horizons. We often look for external reasons to explain this divergence, but the catalyst is internal. They are using two different psychological frameworks to process every dollar they earn. The gap between the wealthy and the middle class begins as a difference in cognitive strategy. It's a matter of how they prioritize their time and their capital. Most people operate on a default mental system, the direct trade of physical hours for a set wage. If you want more money, the only variable you can change is the amount of time you spend working. This chart shows the logic of a standard salary. As hours on the horizontal axis increase, income on the vertical axis rises at a fixed 1-to-1 ratio, a predictable, linear path. However, because a day only has 24 hours, your earning potential hits a hard ceiling and stops. While your income plateaus at this limit, your life expenses often keep rising. This creates a narrowing gap where you are working at maximum capacity just to maintain your current lifestyle. Breaking this cycle requires more than just a raise. It requires a move away from the linear system toward a machine that doesn't rely on your presence to function. The top 1% of earners stop trying to increase their labor and start focusing on systems. They look for ways to decouple their income from the clock. They do this by prioritizing assets over a salary. An asset, whether it's a business, a piece of real estate, or a stock portfolio, holds value and produces cash flow without requiring you to be in the room. This is the concept of leverage. In this diagram, the central asset node is generating income autonomously. Unlike the linear model, there is no external input of labor required to keep these smaller nodes flowing out. Acquiring these assets is the only structural way to bypass the time limit. It replaces your physical effort with a system that works around the clock. Building the system requires capital, which means you have to change how you allocate your paycheck. The wealthy invest a portion of their money first, then live on what remains. Most people do the opposite. They pay their bills and buy what they need first, and only save or invest if there is something left over at the end of the month. This shift requires a different perspective on risk. Many people avoid investing because they fear losing money, but avoiding all risk also removes any opportunity for the machine to grow. The wealthy manage this by substituting ignorance with education. They study market mechanics and historical data to ensure that when they deploy capital, it is based on a calculated projection rather than a guess. By focusing on specialized knowledge, they turn high-risk gambles into measured strategies. This calibration protects their capital while keeping the engine fueled. The final element of the machine is the timeline. This strategy requires the ability to prioritize a future outcome over an immediate reward. While the average person thinks in terms of weeks or months, the wealthy plan in terms of years and decades. This longer horizon is what allows the math of growth to take over. This chart shows the power of compounding. For a long time, the growth looks flat and unremarkable, but eventually the returns from the assets start generating their own returns, and the curve accelerates, overtaking the original linear income path. Compounding is the mathematical multiplier. It is the force that turns steady, disciplined asset accumulation into a self-sustaining wealth machine. As this machine grows, your relationship with money changes. Expenses and bills become manageable line items in a larger strategy, rather than urgent pressures that dictate your daily schedule. This level of financial stability is an engineered result. It is the outcome of a specific design, not the byproduct of a lucky break. The transformation follows a logical sequence. Shifting your mindset leads to different daily actions, and those actions eventually produce a different financial reality. You can begin this process today, looking at your income through the lens of asset acquisition. Start investing a set percentage of your earnings, zoom out your timeline, and focus on the math of the long term. Adopting this framework is about being intentional with the resources you have right now.
If you found this breakdown useful, like the video and subscribe for more insights on the mechanics of building wealth.